format for this week. It's actually only my second comms appearance on MRCX this season. That's kind of ludicrous, which is pretty unexpected for me, let's put it that way. But yeah, we are here with a sprint race, so it's going to be 18-minute qualifying, 10 laps, and then a full 50% race, which is I think 29 laps. I could be wrong, but I think it is. And it's where we've got all the liveries and everyone's player cars for us to keep an eye on, as well as having a driver of the day and livery of the day as well. So that should be all good and fun. Obviously 2 championships, every single driver will score points at some point or another. So everything to play for, and both championships are still wide open. But for MRCX and for sprint races, we need a special person to join me in the comms box, and he goes by the name of, well, he's the voice that can't be mistaken is the name I'm gonna go with. Rob Gini, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
I am amazing. It's great to have you with me again. I think this is like your second or third time in the box for X, so
yeah, it's fun. I think last time we were in Singapore, and that was madness. Bahrain's a madness of a different kind, I find, and it'd be really interesting to see how we go with the sprint race format. Even if you, it's a track that really punishes mistakes, but even if somebody messes it up in the first one, you've got all the time in the world to correct that in the big race. So
that's what I mean, and because it's still the same length as all the other races, it's still wet race. Oh my god, Martin said wet race, and then he said choke underneath. Oh my goodness, I got so excited. But Rob, are you feeling very commentatory and taking us on a lap with Chris Bailey, who's just about to start in a second?
Oh, let me just get him on my screen. Yeah, sure, okay, let's take you for a lap round this circuit. We're on with Bailey. He's in his Leeds United livery, at least he's got his Leeds United hat. Oh, right, you're going down the first corner, hard braking zone, this looking out for about 100 on the left-hand side. Hook it in, you really want to just kiss that apex, that's lovely there, then you're into turn 2. Everybody hates this corner, it's where you'll see a massive pile-up on turn 1. Always really hard to go side by side, but get through there safely, and then you're into turn 3. Look out on the left-hand side, brake about where that red and white curb starts, hook it in, and make sure you don't lose it on the back end. I've just noticed Bailey's doing this on inters,
that as well.
So this might not be the quickest lap we've seen. Left, right, left down there, and then you're hooking it into this tight hairpin. Again, we were talking on comms on Monday, it's very point and squirt track this. Very easy to lose it under traction, but he's doing an excellent job on those inters. Right, hard braking zone, really hard on softs, even more terrible on that intermediate tyre as he goes into 9 and 10, and you're onto the next DRS zone. Possible opportunity for overtaking here. Look on the right hand side there, around about between 100 and the 50. Look into the one bit of this track that I actually like, this flowing section, this left, right. This used to be a horrible corner, this right hand one. It was so easy to go wide like this or just lose it at the back end, but he's done okay there on that set of inters. And then you just sort of switch your brain off for a little bit. You've just got 2 straights and the lap is done. You're looking for that little bridge at the 100 mark. You brake hard, hook it in again, kiss that apex, and it's all about getting on the power as quick as possible. Seeing all of the curb there, DRS open, and what's he done on intermediates? A 133. That ain't too shabby.
That's amazing. Do you know the turns 8 and 9, the double left-hander? There's an absolute night. He took that better than I did on soft. And I was like, brilliant. Oh wow, what a banker that is from Palang.
Oh, yeah, I think he's shown that's why you need soft tyres rather than inters around here, as we're already into the 129s. I could manage
that. You've just seen the times between Kaiser Soze and Palang, by the way.
That is, we have, was it 1998 in Portugal at the end of season where we had 2 people, I think that was Schumacher, Villeneuve and Heidfeld, all on the same time. Palang will get the P1, by the way, because he set the lap first, so the track's less rubbered in, but wow, to the 1,000th of a second. That's incredible.
I think no other driver should set a time just so we have that as our front too. That's, Lurapel went and ruined the day.
Oh, boo, yeah, that's fine, but still, he's, Lurapel is a speedy boy, so I wouldn't be expected that he'd beat those. But yeah, what wonderful start to the qualifying.
One thing that is good to see, sorry to interrupt you, is we have the return of Error Voice as well. Someone who hasn't been here for a very long time, but he has sadly been DSQ'd from the session, which is a big shame. But it's still good to see him back.
It's excellent to see. Yeah. Fabian was a really big part of this league early on. Was in championship contention a couple of times. Really solid driver, and really good to see him back in. I'm trying to think about what tier he'll be deciding to go into. I think he's probably a solid
tier 3. Yeah.
Tier 3. Yeah. No, that'll be a good one to start, particularly with these new cars, just to see how he goes. But I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him in tier 2 after a while, because very solid, very safe, respectful driver. Lovely to see him back here.
Yeah, from what I understand, he hasn't had the time to necessarily practice the most, so it might have dropped his pace ever so slightly. I'm not saying he's slow at all, but it might have dropped it slightly from the elite level it was at. So he's popped himself into tier 3, and I'm looking forward to fighting him, that's for sure. So let's see. Kid Dynamite has just gone off-roading.
Is he just going across the desert plains?
He's not anymore. He's back on track now, and that's a very not like Kid Dynamite likes black liveries normally. He's gone out of his comfort zone this week. Oh, Saviour!
Oh,
that's some lap.
That is. I wonder. I can't remember. I don't know if you saw tier 1 this week, but I'm trying to remember how quick those times were. We had 129s in tier 2, but only just. I wonder if we'll see a 128 from some of these elite boys who are in tier 1 most of the time, because that's easily half a second clear of anybody else on track.
Yeah, I think in tier 3 we had a 29.2 as pole, and that's the other man that's been DSQ'd from the session. Mr. Bandstop. Single Track's just popped into P7. He'll be happy with that for a first lap. Still got a bit of time to find if he wants to be further towards the front. But I tell you one thing that is great to see, and it just shows the lack of skill gap now in this league. Like, everyone is very evenly matched, but you've got B17, Kaiser Soze and Palang, all tier 3 drivers. Well, one's a tier 3 reserve, but they're all tier 3 for their individual tier, and they're all in the top 6, which is just shows how competitive we are now, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it is. We've got a lot of people here who've got great pace, particularly over one lap. And I think once you've established that you've got the pace and you know you can do it, the next step is to apply that to your racecraft. Like, you can be quick over 1, can you be quick over 29 and bring it home? And we're starting to see that. We were talking about, I was doing tier 3 comms with Banstorp, who won. He did a pole to first, basically. He won that and was never really in danger that entire race. And you think that's what you want to see. That's the type of performances that get you up to tier 2, because then you've got the confidence to say, yeah, I can keep this on track for a race. I can go mistake free, and I know I can keep the pace up all the time. So yeah, I think we'll see a lot of these boys start to move on up.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I want to take some credit for Bandstop's win. I gave him DRS for the last 3 laps because I was 2 laps down. Then I let him overtake me on the final lap so that my race ended earlier, because I was like having the biggest disaster of my life. So
I've had those races. I've got some terrible races. There's some tracks I consider too long. Portimao, Portugal, being one of them. That seems like 33 laps of hell. Like,
was
by
that the
about
race
lap
you put
15.
it on pole?
That was the race I put it on pole in. I didn't get to tell this story because I was meant to be on comms for the tier 3, tier 4, and I had to abandon it. But I misread the weather forecast, so I thought it was going to be a wet race. So I put a fully wet setup on, put it on pole. Hey, tell you what, brilliant in the wet, absolutely rubbish in the dry, absolutely pants. And it was the only race that I've always wanted, a race without any safety cars, because that's where I'm strong. Like, yeah, I'll keep it, I'll get a bit of a gap, and I'll come, 6th place, my usual.
Yeah.
But no, there were no safety cars, nothing that bunched the field back up together, so it was just like a miserable 33 laps at the back of the field.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling after Wednesday for sure. But no, I think I was on comms for that race where that happened, and I lost my mind when you put it on pole, because I was like, whoa, because your lap came out of nowhere as well. Like, you were sat around the 6th to 7th place mark for most of the session, then I go to you and you're like 8/10 up, and I was like, where's this come from? And
it's the old wet qualifying tactic of load your car up with like 6 laps of fuel, put some wets on because they don't really degrade, and just build confidence throughout the session. Because otherwise you're not going to... It's so easy to lose. If you think you got just one chance, you're going to blow it. But I slowly gained confidence, and yeah, it was my first ever pole in MRC, so at least I can I can say that I've got at least one race win and one pole, just not in the same race because I'm slow.
You're definitely not slow. I will not allow you to call yourself that. But Fabian is in the YouTube chat and he's just said he got stuck in the gravel. If your car does get stuck, it is a fairly newish rule in the league, but as long as you record your footage and send it to the stewards after, if your car gets stuck anywhere on the track, you can reset to track. But you've got to do it safely, and 2, just prove it. If we do come to you and ask you for footage, make sure you've got the footage to prove that that's why you did it.
Yeah.
So, and there'll be no arguments with that. As we've always said it, I think it's a rule. I mean, on this game, it's the first one where you can actually beach the car. So, yeah. So, yeah, if that happens again, feel free to reset to track. Just try not to get in anyone's way when you do so. What's happened to Johnny Smooth? He has gone in... Is he retired on track? I don't see a car stranded anywhere.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to find it. There's a yellows out by 9:10,
yeah,
isn't there?
I think he's retired on track. Manually. That's how it looks because of the fact that he's still moving. He's on the back straight now.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Okay. Right, well, he's down in P12, so that's definitely not the ideal end to his session. One man that is making his driving debut in MRCX is a man that's driving a Tiger-looking car today. And that is Mr. Stoop.
Oh, wow, that is striking, isn't it? That's,
it is. I like it, though.
Yeah, is that... I don't know, it's got, like, Halloween vibes to me.
I've just noticed the eyes on the back, and they are terrifying. He's just got purple in the middle sector.
Oh, okay, let's follow this. It's not a bad lap, is it?
But I don't know what purple in the middle sector actually means on the minimap, because whenever it comes up, it seems to lie to me. And I think it's like the fastest at that moment in time, or of the people currently on track, or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't trust it. I just sort of tend to go with what we cross the line. It's still up into 8th place. That's very respectable.
Yeah, into 8. So he'll be happy with that. People he's fighting with as well, people in his tier like Single Track Simba, he's put it amongst them, so I'm sure he'll be pretty chuffed with that one if I know Mr. T-Sider himself. So Neil is not taking part in the session. He's got wheel issues. He's already informed me of that, so he will be well, he won't actually be starting last, ironically. He will be starting 3rd last because of other people's unfortunate mishaps. But we won't see him in this session. Giban, he's a driver, one of the most improved drivers I've seen in this league for sure. He's in 14th, it's good to see him. But let's do a bit of, I was going to say there's not actually that many people on track, but I was going to say should we do livery check for the time being. But yeah, what about Martin? He's on track. Let's have a look at his. He says it's a Renault, I can't remember what year he said it was, but it is a Renault of some sort.
Is this him trying to... Is he known I'm on comms and he's just tried to do an Alonso type livery? Let's just see. Let me go into... Because I've been told off by Martin before by forgetting my liveries wrong.
I think he has described it in Pictures and Media on Discord. So...
It's the RS25 livery that Alonso took victory twice in. It's the best livery out there, Martin. Well done. Right,
I'm just really quickly going to have to invite Palang back to the session because he has been kicked. So if the stream is on a weird screen, that is why, guys. Wait, he wants an invite back to the session. You're already in, my friend, it says. I can't re-invite you, sadly. So, it says you're in the session on my screen, so... But, anyway, back to qualifying. We are coming to the end of the session. These sessions fly by, don't they, Rob? They really do. So,
yeah, they do. Yeah, we've got about 3 minutes 50 left. People will be sitting in the garage coming out maybe with about 45 seconds, a minute's time. That's when you can get one lap on the board, no problem. I just wanted to give a quick shout out there to B17, Challenger tier, P4.
And that's pole at the minute. He's the championship leader as well.
Yeah.
So that's huge. And his main title contender is only 2 places below him in 6th, which is just equally as impressive when you're looking at the fact that they've got drivers like G-Star, like Lorpy, like Single Track, like Stu, like Simba, like Chris Bailey. All behind them.
Maybe, Chris, it's time to get off those inters, perhaps.
I'm going to let you into a little secret live on stream. I've heard through a grapevine that a certain Mr. Bailey is trying to start as far back as he can.
The last to first challenge.
Yeah, only I think he's failed it already because he's not
He's not going to be
last.
last. He's not slow enough.
So unless he's gonna, but please do not start. Please do not start the race later than everyone else, because that will end in absolute monstrosity, and there's no protecting you at that point. It's you'll get a big penalty. But yeah, just keep wait. Okay, I don't know what's going on with Palang. Are you back in Palang or not? I have no idea at this point. I'm not watching Chris on the inters. That's just gonna be. Wow! Gibbon's 9/10 up in the first sector.
Oh, let's keep with that then.
That could be something special he's brewing here. He is the tier 4 driver, but he's been really performing. I know you're an avid watcher of tier 3. He's a driver that reserves for tier 3 a lot, and he's learning medium traction. I think he's done very well considering he is learning. So...
and this is... I know we had a couple of drivers learning traction control. I know that Mark was given it a go in tier 3 as well. This is one of the hardest tracks, I would say, for traction. Just because it's so point and squirty, just because it's really easy to lose the back end in lots of places around this circuit. Maybe here in Portimao, the worst. Let's see where Gibbon can go as he crosses the line. DRS open. That's a 1:30.5 up into 10th. Yeah,
that's
great, real
some
improvement.
lap.
Yeah.
That was, I think that was 1.3 seconds over the line he improved there. That's incredible.
What else have we got on a lap?
Right, so Simba's sorted it. So Simba has sent an invite to Palang, so that should be him getting back in. Let's have a look at Lorapel. He is not on a lap, he's on an out lap. Kid, he's just starting. He's going to be one to come back to. What about G-Star? He's also just starting. Is there anyone on a flying lap? Simba is also on an out lap. Bat Mazo. Let's watch Bat Mazo. He's 7 thousandths down off his first sector.
Oh, that's a very nice Manchester United themed livery there. That's wonderful. He can be proud of that one.
He won't be winning my livery of the day.
Who's your livery of the day so far? Oh, sorry, we'll stay on board with it.
Yeah, we're going to stay on board with it. I'll come back to that in just a minute, the livery of the day. Or I'll do it during a safety car, if we see one, of course. But we will definitely have a gander. Hopefully there is a safety car, so I can have a gander through them all when everyone's on track.
In typical commentary style, we've decided to stick with him, and unfortunately he's invalidated.
Connor curse again. Let's see Simba, because Simba loves a Connor curse. He's actually 2 and a bit tenths up, so good little first sector from Simba.
Yeah, and he needs to be. I'm just having a look at the spread of the times. Simba will probably be aiming to be matching his teammate single track. He's got about half a second to make up just above if he wants to match that time at the moment, but got a really good spread on that field. Funny thing is, those Palang and Kaiser Soze laps, they're still exactly the same. They haven't improved since those first laps.
Palang's not actually back in the session yet for whatever reason.
Okay.
So that's why he hasn't improved.
Oh, wait a second, Kid Dynamite.
He's basically a cheat code, is what I'm learning about Kid Dynamite, isn't he? At this point, like, he probably shouldn't be allowed in this league anymore. He's just he's the one that spoils everyone's fun. Lorapel's just gone second.
Oh, goodness me. Is Saviour on a lap? Can he get this back?
He
Saviour
is on a lap. I'm just watching Simba, then I'm going to cut straight to him. He's right behind Simba on track, so he is the next person to cross the line. Simba goes P9 ahead of single track. That's big for him. Let's see Saviour. What's Saviour doing? Can he go on pole? He can!
Yes,
wow,
he can!
what a lap! Oh, Saviour. Oh, well, I take it back, kid. You're allowed to qualify from now on. B17, I think he's down considerably. I'm just going to quickly try and throw Palang another invite because nothing is currently happening. And it's before I can read the... Palang. Are you in the session or not? There you go. Right, I've sent you another invite, Palang, so you should be able to get in now. B17 is in the pit. Stoob will start P12 just behind Gibbon. But that was some end to qualifying.
Yeah,
wow.
Just all of the big boys coming out to play at the end now. They just setting lap after lap. And that's what they can do. That's why they're tier 1, isn't it? And it's not very much. It's, what was it, 0.4 of a second, 0.3 of a second or so. But it is so much to find, particularly around here, where you don't have a lot of flowing corners. It's all about getting on the traction, on the power as soon as possible, and those guys are mastered it. So yeah, well done to Saviour for taking pole position.
The one thing I did learn about this track this week, though, was the fact that it like, I think maybe more than any other, it really does bed in quicker. Like, the grit really does come to you at the end on your last lap.
Yes. Yeah, it feels nice. And gosh, look at that gap between the top two, 0.052 of a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, right down to the wire.
So, this is your grid for the sprint race. Saviour takes pole, Kid Dynamite second, Lurapel third. Wow, Baldy in fourth, and on pole for the Challenger tier. That's incredible. Lorpy fifth, Palang takes sixth. Kaiser Soze seventh with the exact same time. G-Star eighth, Simba ninth, Single Track in 10th. Giban in 11th, Stube in 12th, Batmazer in 13th, Johnny Smooth in 14th, Chris Bailey doing his Chris Bailey things in 15th, Carl in 16th, Neil with technical difficulties is 17th, Bandstop and Hero Boys were both very naughty boys and got DSQ'd. But while we're here, I'm just going to quickly run the viewers through. This time, you haven't got such a stupid MRCX coordinator because I've actually added points this time to the sprint race. So, first we'll get 8, second 7, third we'll get 6, fourth we'll get 5, so on until 8th gets 1. The 8th place from each tier will be the last person to score a point. So only 4 drivers in the sprint race, still, well, 3 actually tonight, will not score a point. So, it adds something to the sprint race that makes the sprint race actually worth it this time.
Yeah, and I'm really interested about the sprint race, particularly about the tactics that people can use. Are we going to see somebody going to try and do all 10 laps on the softs? You probably can, but you'll be really struggling towards the end. The safer option is to use the mediums, and I really wonder how much risk they're going to take. Because usually in the real world, you're worried about doing moves in the sprint race because you don't want a broken car the next morning. But these boys will have no such concerns, so I think we're going to see some big boy moves into turn 1.
Well, I can confirm every single driver is starting on the mediums.
Oh, okay, nobody's gone for the soft strategy.
Yeah,
live a little.
I mean, the soft for me tend to last, I think, maximum 8 laps, and then that's when they're goodbye. See you later.
Yep.
But okay. I think the mediums, they'll definitely all be fine on that tyre. It's a straight sprint at the end of the day. You're going to see everyone really fighting tooth and nail here. But what we are going to do quickly, Rob, is run through the liveries super quick on the formation lap, because this is the one time everyone's on track and we get to see them. So, Saviour, we have to be nice, because apparently his girlfriend creates them for him, and she hates me every time I slag them off. So, it's lovely, Saviour, and yeah. Kid Dynamite, yes, it's okay, it's good. Your opinion on that?
Wolverine themed. I love it, bub.
Yeah, that's good. Lurapel runs his Dutch colours, as he does every week, so that's good. B17, it looks like the Amazon rainforest, I guess. It's just green, isn't it, with black?
Yeah, green, black, prehistoric. I don't know. Yeah, there's got a bit of a dinosaur theme about it. Let's see.
Or a green and black zebra is more. Yeah. That's the way I'd put it. Then we've got Lorpy. His is different. It's actually kind of nice to see something. It's weirdly nice, if that makes sense.
Classic livery. I do like that when people just don't overdo it. Simple.
Right, then we've got Palang, who's got, like, it looks like bubblegum.
I like this one. I really like this one. I don't know if it's just because it's got hints of the Alpine with BWT livery, but yeah. No,
that's actually
like
very true. When you do look at it, yes, it does look a bit like the BWT. Right, we haven't got time to look at any more, so we'll try and come back to them during the race at some point. I'm sure we're going to see great battling across. We've got 19 viewers in MRCX. When did this become a thing? Have recent commentators made MRCX take off to the moon or something and just make it the biggest thing ever?
I think they heard that you were back on. I think they heard that they wouldn't have to see you racing, and they get to see your voice.
They're probably in pain watching me race, and they're like, right, let's tune in the one time he's not racing. Yeah, I respect that. I'm glad. But Saviour is on pole for the sprint. This race will also, don't forget, decide the grid for the actual big boy to come after this. So, come on, lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and come on. We go. And Saviour's had a good start. Kid Dynamite's also had a good, but Lauren Bell's made an absolutely sensational start off the line. He's side by side with Kid into turn 1. I've got the worst camera angle ever. But B17, oh, him and Lorpy make a bit of wheel-to-wheel in. Lorpy's through. Wow, that's a good move from Lorpy around the outside. Neil is having difficulties, I think, still. Maybe his wheel's still not there. What's happened to Simba at the back? Something has.
Yeah, there was a bit of a coming together. I'm not sure. It's always chaos between those first corners, 1 and 2. But it seems like most of the field have made through it there. Oh,
G-Star's at a moment, yeah.
They just lost it going out. Cold tyres going through that corner. Really easy to do through there.
Yeah, it definitely is. Stoops just made a move around the outside of Martin as well into turn 6. Wow, that was some move and brave.
Bold, yeah.
Yeah. Chris Bailey though, look at him off the lights. He was down in, I think he started 15th or something. He's up to 9th already.
Yeah, let's see if I can get the data up for that, and I'll tell you who's been the winners and losers.
Yeah, that'll be. It's always good to see that shit at the start. I should probably put it on the stream myself, to be honest.
So the top 5 unchanged, and you got Kaiser Soze up 1, Stoob up 5 places, Single Track up 2, Chris Bailey up 6 entirely. Biggest loser at the moment, I'm afraid. Palang, don't know what happened to him, but he's down in P16.
I don't think he's in the session still. That's the issue with him.
Ah, okay, that's a shame.
Yeah.
And then you've got G-Star and Simba down at the back, also losing 10 places.
Yeah, they have. It's not been ideal for them. Neil is right on the back of Palang already. Era Voice has made a good start as well on his return back. He's up 4. So that's good to see him moving up the field a little bit. But let's see. Let's go back. Oh, something's happened in sector 1. Is that into turn 1? I think it may have been Batmazo. But I know Batmazo's in the pits. I don't know what's happened there then. But Bandstop's also made a very good start as well. He started, I think it was last or second last. So he's up to 12 already. Era Voice has had to pit. He's gone to the softs, so I don't know. Can we see a safety car on the 10? No, I'm sure we probably can, but
I think you probably can. Oh, there's been a bit of a moment back there for, I think it's Bandstop and Johnny Stoob coming together. There's been a bit of a...
Oh yeah, Bandstop, Johnny Smooth's round, yeah. That's not gone well for him, sadly. Carl, right. I don't know if you saw Carl's livery the other day in... Oh, Palang's out. That's a safety car.
That is a safety car. Boy, maybe. Who's on the softs now?
Era Voice, and that is going to be absolutely wonderful for him. But
yeah,
I do think we may see more come in for softs here. Potentially.
Potentially. Bahrain's a weird track in the sense that you feel like it's got loads of opportunity, overtaking opportunities, and that you can make the moves on the soft easily. But in the races I saw and the races I participated in, we saw people like Palang, like Redcar, stick with their tyres that were quite old mediums or old hards and just stay in place.
They just stayed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
no, I agree with you. Yeah, 100%. Wait, what's that? How has Stoob ended up in 4th?
It's just been really good. I think there's been a lot of chaos around him as well.
Something's happened here because Stoob a minute ago was in like 10th, and now he's in. My brain right now is so unbelievable. I've just seen maybe the harshest thing I've ever seen in MRC, by the way, though.
What's that?
Palang crashed out and then joined the session about 20 seconds after.
Oh no.
So him crashing out actually had nothing to do with him.
That's bizarre.
That's F1 2022 for you, to be honest.
Yeah, that's
like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I think that describes it literally perfect. But there is a few that have taken the soft route. Lorpy's done it. G-Star's done it. G-Star was obviously at the back anyway, so he didn't have the most to lose, to be honest. But it'll be interesting to see if those guys can really, really push their way back through the field.
Yeah, as you said, you do get less wear under the safety car, of course, but it's not 0. And you said, what, these softs go for about 7 laps? We'll probably get restarted with 6 laps of racing to go, so it might get a bit dicey towards the end for those soft runners. But if you're at the back of the field, yeah, why not roll the dice and give it a go? It's only the sprint race as well. You only get points for the top 8, so I think you've got to try everything.
Yeah, exactly. Right, now I'm testing your F1 knowledge here, because you are a bit of an F1 encyclopedia. I would come to you if I wanted to know an F1 fact. But Mr. Carl Edens, okay?
Oh. He's another level.
Have you been in pictures and media the last few days?
I haven't. I think I glanced over his...
Okay. Do you know the team name of the of his livery that he's got tonight? And I'm gonna be honest, his car is literally the spitting image of that livery that he's made. It's that good.
Is it the Lola Mastercard, the ill-fated F1 team that was just you talk about like Alonso with a GP2 engine. They had a GP3 engine and a GP2
Did they have an
chassis.
engine? I think you're being nice, to be honest.
There's yeah, I'm very sad, but if you look it up on YouTube, if you don't know the story, there's some great explainers on YouTube that sort of break down the disaster that was their 1 or 2 seasons, just a real show about how not to bring a team into F1 to try and do it. They kind of put the cart before the horse and kind of crowdfunded a team before it was a thing, saying, yeah, give us our money and we promise that we'll win races, and instead they were the donkey at the back of the field. Hopefully Carl won't be recreating that tonight. I hope that he's going to break into the points.
Yeah, it's good to see Carl back as well. He's a former champion in X. He hasn't raced the most this season, but good to see him. But that's the other thing. What would you rate out of 10 Chris Bailey's Martini Williams livery on basis of how it looks compared to the actual car? That's a really, you know what, for the limited editing tools that you have in F1 2022, that's a really good shout. I'll give it 10 out of 10 is a bit generous. He's got to really impress me to give it 10 out of 10. I'll give you 8 out of 10. That's outstanding. Yeah, Calvin also. The only reason it's a solid 3 for me is the fact that Calvin's done it in the past, and Chris and Calvin are good friends, and I'm sure Calvin's probably helped him. And the other thing is, I just can't be too nice to Chris because it really hurts me inside. That's fair enough. Yeah. I understand. I think everybody understands it when you say that we've got to be mean to Chris. But looking at liveries, who haven't we seen? Bandstock we saw them. He's running what Batmazo called a Man United livery as well. But if I know Bandstock, he's a Liverpool fan, so it definitely won't be that. Voice as well. He's another driver. I want to see his livery because we didn't get to see it in qualifying because he was out quite quickly. Neil's running the Golf McLaren. That's being completely disregarded because he does that every week. Voice is really nice. I like it. I do like it. It's got a touch of Dutch flair. I don't know if that's like a World Cup livery with the white and orange. But it's very different, is what I'd say. Yeah, it's very different. Yeah. I really like Kaiser Soze, who's got a classic sort of like Lotus design. I think that's what he's gone for. Yeah, it looks like a can of Guinness. Yes. That's what I think anyway, and that's what Martin thinks as well, I think. But Saviour's gone quite late actually, so, and he's done quite well. But look at these guys trying to get all the heat they can in their tyres down that straight. They are weaving like something crazy. Saviour's actually gone deep as well, so he obviously didn't get enough heat into his tyres. What's happened? I think G-Stars may have had no, I think he had a great restart and then really lost out the exit at one of the corners. So that hasn't helped him at all. Bandstock's gone, Batmazo's gone backwards off the restart. Who's round? Is that Simba again? I think he may be running no assists. Yeah, I do want to say that. Yeah, I know he's pushing himself to try and get better, and yeah, you just have nights like these. Thank goodness it's a sprint race and not the full thing. You've got all of the 29 laps to improve. That's what I mean, but I think he's using X. He's also last season's champion, so he is the reigning challenger tier champion. He's obviously with the big boys now in the elite tier, but he's challenging himself to no assists, I think, in MRCX, so that may be why he's had a couple of moments. But Stube and Martin, that's a good little battle to watch out for. Both, obviously, fellow compatriots of Tier 2 with you. Yeah, two drivers who have been here forever, literally. So they're two drivers I'm sure you know pretty well. Yes, always excellent to race against them. Always a nice challenge. You know you're quite evenly matched, and you also, most importantly, it's when you go into a corner with somebody and you know that you're going to be given the space. You know it's going to be a fair fight. Even if I go for this move, they'll respect that, and you know when to back out and when to stick your nose in as well. Those two having a right ding dong through 1 and 2 right at the restart, and I saw them go side by side, and Stu very wisely pulled out of the move into turn 2. They're quite closer now because I think Chris Bailey is the one to watch out for. He's all over the back of Stube. We're not quite at DRS territory yet, but next lap I think Chris is just going to eat him up. He is. I'd say something, it'll be a great recovery if Chris can go maybe put it in the top 4 or something from this sprint, considering he started in P15. And I mean, then that'll really put him with the big boys in Tier 1 of Lurapel, Kid Dynamite and Saviour as well. So that'll really put him in the battle for the 50% race after this.
Yeah, that's what we want to see, isn't it? Those 4 going at it up top.
Yeah, it definitely, I mean, it's the battle we get to see every week in Tier 1, but there's always other little sprinklings added to it in Tier 1, isn't there? So we don't always get to see the full extent of it, but in MRCX, you'd like to think, obviously single track is a driver that's also proved he can go with the Tier 1 boys with how, I think he's won 2 Tier 2 titles now, hasn't he? So, yeah, he's also proved it himself, but we shall see. So B17 is still the leader of the Elite Tier. He's dropped back a little bit, but I think not in a rude way, but I think it was somewhat expected with some of the faster guys obviously starting a bit behind him, but he's still done well to hold his position. G-Star's had a great restart on the soft. He's into 11th. How far can G-Star get himself back up? He's also a Tier 1 driver who's going to be wanting to claw his way forward, but look at that from Lurapel. He is absolutely flying.
Yeah, those 3 really putting the laps in now, and they've got 4 laps with DRS. Saviour's been leading the entire way now, but it's when, you know, when is Kid Dynamite going to make the move? It's not if, it's when, isn't it? He's going to be within a second. I wonder if we're going to see a little bit of that will they, won't they, with the DRS straight. No, you have the DRS, now I'll have the DRS, because you've got those 2 through the main straight, and then after turns 1 and 2. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out.
It definitely is. I've just seen Chris pull off an absolute worldy move around the outside of Stube in turn 2. And then Stu went slightly defensive, came back across, didn't realise B17 was also alongside him. And B17 snuck his way through as well, so that's now put Stu under a bit of pressure from Mr. Encyclopedia himself, Carl Edens. So that's going to be a battle to watch out for. Banstorp is now under a bit of pressure from G-Star. I mean, Banstorp's already proved he can mix it with the very best in this league. Just look at what he does in Tier 3 every week. So yeah. It's actually an interesting battle to see how him and G-Star are really going to see if Banstorp can really battle with the big boys, you know?
That's what I love about MRCX, because you're mixing the tiers up and then you do realise, oh, we're all quite even, actually, particularly in terms of pace, and given the opportunity to race against somebody a tier above, these drivers can really prove themselves.
I mean,
we've got...
Yeah, sorry,
I was just having a look. Kid Dynamite and Saviour into turn 1. That's started to kick off a little bit as we've got the first of the DRS zones. Let's see if he's got the run. I don't think he's got enough pace. No, it's really hard. You can't really go for that move down into turn 4 unless you get a huge...
Banstorp's round. Yeah, he's gone round again. I think he's lit up his rear a bit too much. That's not helped him at all. But I was just about to say, with the battle for the lead that you was commentating on, it's there's so much to lose in this sprint race as well, because one touch of the rear of the car in front or anything and you could simply be ruining or at least putting yourself in the worst possible position for a 50% race.
Yeah, you're right. I hadn't thought of that. Is it worth going for the extra point? Or is Kid Dynamite going to be happy with second? Saviour, in fact, trying to eke out that lead almost up to a second, but I don't think Kid Dynamite's going to let him have it. And don't forget, we're looking at the top 3, the elite ones. You've got Martin as well, P4, hanging onto the back of them like crazy. He doesn't want to lose that DRS.
He doesn't, and he has. And the other interesting thing that shows Martin's real pace here as well is the fact that Chris actually hasn't made many inroads in him since the restart either.
Oh, Chris is losing time to him. He's lost about 2 seconds since the restart, ever since he took that P5. That's the power of the DRS around here.
It definitely is, and single track is actually closer to Lurapel. Lurapel's had a moment somewhere, I'm sure of it, because he's lost quite a bit to the rear of Kid there, which isn't going to help him at all. So that'll definitely be one to watch out for. I wonder if he can launch anything on the last 2 laps. It's going to be difficult. Carl is in a bit of a fight with Keizer Soze down in P8. Keizer Soze's got up the inside. Carl stuck it around the outside and then got up the inside into turn 2, kept the position. They're still side by side in the DRS. That was very good, clean racing from both of them. But Keizer Soze's got the inside line heading down to turn 4, but Carl is later on the brakes, and that is top quality defending from the self-proclaimed Mr. Defence. What's happened to Lurapel?
Oh yeah, something has happened, hasn't he? He might have gone round maybe in T4, but he's lost a lot of places, hasn't he? He was in P3, now down in P7.
Yeah, that hasn't helped him at all. Kid Dynamite is obviously still stuck to the rear end of the man from Germany in P1. But it's definitely going to be a German winning at Bahrain. Something really rings a bell to me there. I don't know what it could be, but
I don't know at all.
It could be a driver that's just retired, or a driver that's a 7-time world champion winning at Bahrain, could it?
Yeah, you forget how long Bahrain's been on the calendar. This used to be run in the daytime. This used to be run way back in like 2004, 2005. It's been a mainstay of the calendar for a lot of years, and yeah, awful lot of history at this track.
It used to be a 1 minute 50 lap. I remember them days.
Yeah.
That was painful, to say the very least. But Kid Dynamite is closing. He's closing. Is he going to try it on the last lap? I don't think he is. He's definitely not into turn 1 anyway. But how good is his exit going to be? It actually looks like it could be a little bit better than Saviour's. No, Saviour's actually got some good traction out of there. So that's going to be Kid. He's not going to be close enough to make the move into turn 4. Stoob's also just got past P17. And he's just done what Chris did to him. So Stoob, the wily old fox, has just pulled the same move that got done to him only 3 laps ago. Good driving.
That was excellent racing from everybody there. Everybody was given the space. They knew when to pull in and when to pull out. And yeah, everybody's still going in the right direction.
Yeah, and it's good to see that we've actually seen some brilliant side-by-sides in this sprint race. It's good to see people going for it as well, maybe not being overly cautious. That's the sort of fear you can have. You're either going to push too much and try and gain too many positions, or you're not going to push enough. Something's happened to B17, who was in the lead of the Challenger tier.
Yeah, I think
dropped
he
a few positions.
Just lost it, I think, going through that hairpin just after that little left-right kick through 5 and 6. Lost it through 7. He's got a big opportunity for Kaiser Soze. He's all over the back of bit, but no, he's not going to do the move. Almost out of time in this tier. I don't know where the other overtakes are going to come from.
Yeah, and I think that's also going to be a few points gained as well. A point gained for Kaiser Soze on B17 in the Challenger Championship. But Saviour will take the win for the sprint race. Kid Dynamite will come home in second. Martin will come home in third. He'll be absolutely delighted with that. What a drive from Chris to come all the way through the field into P4. But he's also now got Stoob attached to his rear end. Is he going to make a launch towards the line? He's not. Stoob had some incredible pace towards the end of that sprint. Lurapel, he'll be so disappointed. I'm not sure what happened, but he has dropped. Carl, good little move up the field. Kaiser Soze takes the win in the Challenger here. He'll be delighted. Lorpe did a risky little strategy. He went to the softs under the safety car. Managed to pull it back somewhat though, and he will be the final point scorer in the elite tier. So a point gain is better than 0. That is for sure.
That's a good race, that. Really looking forward to the next one. Driver of the day, Chris Bailey. Yeah, he made a good lot of places up. I think his main mistake was qualifying on the Inters. Yeah,
I mean, Chris Bailey does try and do some very crazy things, it has to be said, but let's hope Palan can get a bit of luck, because I feel sorry for him with what happened to him in that session. Simba, I think that'll be one to forget for him, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. He seemed to have a fairly clean second half of the race at least, and if he is running no assist, that's always a good confidence booster. Era Voice as well comes home P4 in the Challenger tier. That's a good debut.
Yeah, it's nice to see him get his feet under the desk again and show us what he can all do. I think everybody's got a lot to be proud of in this session, and just remember, even if you finished, outside the top 10, you had a bit of a rubbish race. We've had those in the past, but you don't get the opportunity to go again. Now you do. Now you get to put everything right. So go out there and show us what you got.
At the end of the day, this next race is the race you've been practicing for. You've already raced this once this week. If you made it to the end, fair play, you did it. And now just remember all of that experience you gained from doing that and use it again now. Class the race before was like an extra qualifying session in some strange way, but you have to actually overtake. If that makes any sense at all, but I know what I meant in my head anyway.
I do. I think the only person who'll be thinking, oh my goodness me, it's Martin up there in P3. He'll want to take that 8-second gap between him and Chris Bailey and say, yes, please, can I have that on the grid as well? That'd be fantastic.
He'll be gutted because he knows that Chris is not going to be removing himself from that rear end for a little while.
No.
So, It's definitely fun though, and I mean it's one of like the more famous MRCX battles actually. Chris and Martin, those two always seem to be at it in MRCX. It's just wait, is there no formation? Okay, there is. I really really panicked there.
Yeah,
yep, I was like, I'm not ready for this yet. I'm I'm mid sentence. But who else's liveries did we not see? Is there anyone? G-Star, he's someone I feel like we didn't look at while we're here on the formation. That this is our opportunity. So yeah, G-Stars is nice. It's actually very different to anything you usually see. Bit of maroon red, bit of black, bit of gold.
Yeah, I'd like kind of an Iron Man or slightly Christmassy theme, I would say. No, I like that one.
Yeah, it's definitely good. I'm trying to think, is there anyone else we haven't looked at? Johnny Smooth, he's someone to look at. I think he... Whoa, that is... Have you seen the front end of that car? Wow.
Oh yeah, that's but busy.
My eyes have just gone into a coma. I think like they've done something. Wow. Yeah, that's something. Simba's MRC colours. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, bold. The addition of the green is really something.
It looks like a Brazil flag with a touch of purple as well at the same time.
There's a lot going on there. Yeah, no, I like it.
It's nice. But I think we've seen every livery now. Which one's caught your eye? We'll do livery of the day now in case there is no safety car. Okay.
I think that Carl's is absolutely fantastic. The point is that you do a double take and it could be the real thing. He's always spent a lot of time on that. So, yeah, for me, it's Carl Eden's. It's Bit, hands down, best livery of the day. But a little shout out to Palang. I really like Palang's as well. That's excellent, but just because it's a throwback to an old car that many people remember, that's why I'm giving it to Carl.
Can you also give a shout out to Martin, because I think he did an old Alonso livery just for you.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Like, don't. You know what he gets like with you when you don't mention his livery on comms. He'll get it wrong.
Martin, your livery's fine. No, Martin, no, it's great. Great. No, I did notice it was the Alonso livery. You've put it in chat. It's my soft spot. You're a very close second, but go one better in the race and take it home and get us a first place.
Do it. Drive like Fernando is what he's saying.
Precisely.
And before we start, my livery of the day is the man that's on the stream, Mr. Stoob, and the man that's also just failed to stop his car. But yes, I don't know why his livery is just very eye-catching.
That's good.
And I like it. So the winners were Stoob and
Bit.
Carl. Yes, yeah, that's it. So yeah, let me know your liveries of the day in a YouTube chat as well. I'd be interested to hear them. Oh, Ryan's gone for Era Boys. Yeah, we did say that actually in qualifying. That was a really nice livery as well. It's very different to anything you usually see. Is there a glitch?
There's either a glitch or we're waiting a long time on this. Oh, migrating host.
What happened to Chris? Is he alive?
What's happened to Chris?
Connor's now the host. That's never a good thing. But okay, something's happened to Chris. He's gonna need. Have you got Chris as a friend on PSN?
I'll see if I can add him.
Because he's gonna need an invite back in. That's the issue.
That's fine.
But Saviour takes it. He's had a brilliant start. Lower Pell. Actually, yeah, Chris definitely isn't in, and now Single Track is back ahead of him, so that is not good for him. Some start from Lower Pell. He's into P3. Stoob is in P6. He's made a good start. Kaiser Soze. Chris is obviously still ghosted, so that is why he's dropping a few places. G-Star's had a moment. Simba's had an absolutely amazing start. He's got up to 15th off the line. Oh, there's a few cars ghosted. Neil is... There's a lot of ghost cars back there, and it is really hurting my eyes. Carl's had a bit of a mishap at the start as well. Is everything alright with getting Chris back in?
I'm unable to invite Chris back into the session because the group is closed.
Guys, I'm going to have to very quickly try and invite Chris back. Oh no, it's not letting me do it. This happened the other day when I think Scott got kicked in tier 3. Once the host goes, it doesn't let the host be re-invited. Is there a way I'm trying to think if there's a way I can sort this. And if there is, I don't know how. I don't think there is. That's the issue. I will try again in... Wait, Palang's just... Something very... There's a big glitch here. How has Palang ended up in second from 19th?
Yeah, something
Chris
really
Bailey's
is.
back in. Chris is back in. That's good. What? Who's leading this race?
Let it sort itself out. Let it sort itself out.
I'm just going to go on board with Saviour because, right, Palang's obviously glitched majorly here. Saviour is leading the race, I can confirm.
Is he? I've got Kid Dynamite on my screen.
What is going on here? There's also a battle happening between maybe the slowest overtakes I've ever seen between Kid and Lorapel as well. I think we're still... I think it's settled itself down now.
Okay.
Well, no, because I don't get why Palang's second. He's been kicked from the session. If there's any race directors in YouTube chat, can you get on to me very, very quickly? If that's okay. Just because we may need to restart this. This isn't ideal at all. But I can't really do it without anyone telling me. But let's continue on for now until I hear anything else. The Saviour still leads. Palang's Ghost is doing incredibly well. Palang, I almost wouldn't come back if I was you, mate. I'd just sit here and enjoy it. Because you're scoring some good... Oh, Kid's now retaken second, apparently. So, no, Lorapel's now second. Okay. So, Lorapel's made a stunning start there, I'm not going to lie. Okay, yeah, no, I think this needs a red flag.
I think this needs a red flag as well. This is, yeah, the timing screen is not happy, and at the end of the day, if you're going to be sorting out penalties at the end, it's going to be a nightmare. So, in my humble opinion,
yeah, we're going to red flag the race. I think it's the only thing that can do this glitch. I don't think there are any race directors about. Chris, can you try and get to everyone and tell them red flag, if at all possible? We're going to red flag it. There's something very... Right, we'll be back in about 10 minutes, guys, okay? I'm going to try and reset up the lobby very, very quickly. Thank you, and be back very, very soon.